Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot coming at you with Weekly Comic Book Wrap. We may have finished this week's DC comics last night. However, it's time to move on to this week's Marvel books, and we've got a decent sized haul, and also as well as a couple of image books. So we're going to kick things off with Laura Kinney, Wolverine, #2. Where we left off, Wolverine had managed to rescue a young mutant and reunite said mutant with their sister. However, it seemed that they were on a collision course with Daredevil, specifically Elektra Nachios. And so, the issue begins in Hell's Kitchen at Pier 87. Laura and Elektra are fighting, but over the course of the fight, Elektra tells Laura to get down, as there's a mutant being trafficked at the pier. Turns out that the mutant who has explosion powers is basically being sold to the leader of an anti-mutant militia, and Humanity First in this case. And Laura and Elektra get some intel watching, and then attack. Laura gets shot, but she goes out, tries to save the young mutant. She manages to catch up with the leader of the militia's car, but he swerves and manages to get her off the roof. And while Elektra is not entirely fond of, at first states not being fond of working with a mutant, just because of the climate around superheroes in New York, as well as mutants in general. She does say that it's nice to be working with a Wolverine again. And Laura retorts with she thought that her mutants complicated things. However, Elektra states that she's a complicated woman. But she goes to Daredevil goes off to talk to Luke Cage, the mayor, while Wolverine goes to try and track down the leader of the militia. And she potentially she finds the car abandoned, but she catches a scent on the wind of brioche. And so she discusses the whole thing with the mayor. And it's actually an anti-vigilante rally that's being going to be crashed by the militia. And Cage says that he can't just pull their permits at the last minute. But Laura accuses Luke Cage of at least a degree of bigotry against mutants, though he does say that he's fought alongside Logan and a shit ton of other mutants before Laura was even made in a lab. She storms out of the office saying that they're stubborn fools, while Cage tells her to stay away from the protest, and threatens to call Logan. Yeah, he then asks Daredevil if she's sure that Wolverine won't do anything stupid. Apparently, Daredevil thinks that Wolverine's headstrong, and she finds it admirable. But she's told not to encourage Wolverine, and she simply says that she's a Wolverine. She doesn't need Elektra's help. But she softens her thoughts on Cage, and so he says he's playing politics, and mutants and humans are going to die because of that. But Elektra says that Luke won't let that happen. And Elektra tells Laura that she's got a lot to learn about being a hero in New York City, or any city. But she said she doesn't need Elektra as a teacher. As the rally goes on, her and Elektra both separately infiltrated as civilians. And Elektra tries to make peace with Wolverine, who spots the mutant Anthony, who is also a friend of old friend of Logan's, and as well as the general, the leader of the militia. But as Wolverine gets to Anthony, the kind of mutant, he starts to explode, and does, and that is where the issue ends. I'm fairly certain that both Wolverine and Daredevil will be all right. However, only the next month will tell how that comes to pass. Anyways, good issue though. Moving on though to our next book, we've got Storm number 4. Where we left off, Storm had been summoned by Sorcerer Supreme, Dr. Doom. All while being forbidden to use her powers for a week to basically as a price for magic being used to help her. So the issue opens with a summary of what happened in the past 6 days, but as well as an explanation of funerary rites many African cultures, saying that as a panel is shown of Storm bathing in a bath. It says that the body is first cleaned in water and adorned in opulent garments as she gets dressed. They believe death ought to be celebrated, not mourned. For death is not the end, just a metamorphosis. And wearing the dress she borrowed from Rogue, Storm sits down to dinner with Doom. It has been curated for her palette. We have a flashback to Storm's father having made a similar meal, which she initially was not eager to like, but ended up liking quite a bit. But Doom says that clearly Storm is familiar with the tale of Icarus. That the tale has become the mutant metaphor. As Doom puts it, mutant kind rose to be better, Homo superior. Now they've fallen even lower. But what the masses detest most about mutants is what they have found Doom himself to be in admiration and drawn to, even. Mutants reach beyond the stars, always ignoring how often they come crashing down. Their strength renewed each time, like Antaeus. But apparently dessert is not entirely to Storm's liking, and so Doom has the chef brought out to be executed. However, Storm stops the execution with daggers that she brought along with her in secret. And over the course of things, Doom discovers that Storm is potentially unable to use her abilities, and she's killed by the god that Dr. Voodoo had made a deal with. In heaven, presumably the Storm's reunited with her father. Their reading is very sweet, and he says that her parents have seen her grow to become a flame that refuses to be put out. The wind doesn't take from you; it fuels her. She rides it even. They're Hadari Yao. But however, she's then resuscitated by Eternity and attacks the spirit that seemed to claim her. And that is as it goes after Doom. Which, well, maybe she could have waited a couple minutes though. But oh well. That is where the issue ends. Good issue. Good issue. I have a feeling that Storm will be a major will be a book that's participating quite a bit in the One World Under Doom story. It's coming soon. Anyways, moving on to our last book for the moment, we've got Rogue Savage Land, #1. So, back in the day, the X-Men went through the Siege Perilous, and they got separated from. There were more than a few that were changed by the Siege Perilous, by the strips of Siege Perilous. And I recall going the trip of Siege Perilous is what led to Havoc becoming briefly a Genoshan magistrate. In fact, also it's what led. It was as I recall, it's also the going through Siege Perilous is what led to Psylocke becoming having her mind. Psylocke and Clown's minds being swapped. So, after the Siege Perilous, Rogue got ended up back in the Outback base, on the run from Carol Danvers. She borrowed teleportation powers from Gateway and just went opened a portal just to wherever. And wherever, and it turned out to be the Savage Land. However, she's alone. But she manages to make do. And there are some tips for she brings up. #1, everything around is just as hungry and thirsty as you are. #2, don't ever drink from nothing bigger than a rain puddle. #3, don't ever sleep in a tree. #4, don't ever sleep on the ground either. #5, and probably most important, if you're bashful, you best get over that quick, because the Savage Land will tear up your super suit faster than a couple of rounds with the Juggernaut. But the days are fairly nice, but the nights are lonely. She ends up kind of retreating into the various memories of people she's absorbed, such as Cody, Captain America, Nightcrawler, not Nightcrawler, Captain Marvel, well, at the time, Miss Marvel, Storm, Wolverine. But one night when she does this, she hears a noise, and it seems to be some a group of amphibious, anthropomorphic amphibians. Rogue hides from them, trying to make sure they don't come upon her. But she's once again attacked by Miss Marvel, and ends up in Magneto's Citadel. Magneto's basically said, "Hey, I just want to, exist," which is kind of where he was at the beginning of X-Men #1 from 1991. But Zabu, Kazar's saber-toothed tiger enters Magneto's Citadel. Turns out that Kazar's missing, and so Rogue opts to help Zabu find Kazar, and well, Magneto's going to help them eventually, or at least try to look at her Rogue. Turns out though that Kazar's been captured by the anthropomorphic amphibians. Apparently they are a members of a race known as the Deep Men. Peaceful isolationists who would never walk up on land, clobber the son of the tiger, and stuff him in a cage. And normally they would never leave their sea. But they venture into the inhospitable surface lands to find a sacrificial offering of flesh that might make the gods take notice. Because their sea left them. In another citadel on the Savage Land, Zaladane. Not entirely sure if this is Polaris, but I know that Polaris did at least call herself Zaladane for a while. Has called herself Zaladane at least once or twice. Well, Zaladane seems to be plotting a takeover of the Savage Land with the Savage Land mutates. And that is where the issue ends. Interesting start. I find it interesting that I also find it interesting that as you'll see, Nick Fury is in what would is on the corner of the cover, though he hasn't appeared yet. But overall, just a good start. I'm digging it. Anyways, that's it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Blue Sky, Instagram, Mastodon, Twitter, Patreon, PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.